What's up, everyone? And today I'm doing a deck profile on my Altergeist deck. Now, Altergeist is a deck that was actually voted for, I think, last month, although it didn't win, so it wasn't really one I was in the rush to make, but I still planned on doing one regardless. And funny fact about Altergeist, this is the deck I took to YCS Las Vegas, the 3v3. And I did absolutely terrible. Then again, at the time I was a budget player, so I couldn't afford extravagance, evenly matched, all that good stuff. And multi-figure was also limited. But now that extravagance has been reprinted and is much cheaper, I figured why not do a deck profile of my Altergeist deck. And so without further ado, let's get right into it. Now with the Altergeist deck, one thing you'll notice is it looks a lot similar to other deck profiles because Altergeist has it's a deck that doesn't really have a lot of innovation in it because there's just like certain set ratios that you want to run. So first off, I run the 3 Altergeist multi-figure. That is the most powerful card in the deck, considering if you activate a trap card, you can special summon this card from your hand, and if this card is special summon, you can special summon one Altergeist monster from your deck. I also run 3 Altergeist Milliseek. Altergeist Milliseek, when this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent. Altergeist Milliseek can attack directly, and if it inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can target one card your opponent controls, send it to the graveyard. So this is non-targeting, non-destruction removal, so that's pretty good. And if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add one Altergeist monster from your deck to hand. So like if you link it away into Link Rebo. Next, I run 3 Altergeist Marionetter. Altergeist Marionetter, when this card is normal summon, you can set one Altergeist trap directly from your deck to your spell trap zone. You also target one Altergeist card you control and one Altergeist monster in your graveyard. Send that card on the field to your graveyard, and if you do, special summon the other monster. I also run in 2 Altergeist Silquitus. Silquitus has a quick effect. You can turn another Altergeist card you control to the hand and target one card your opponent controls, return it to the hand. So it's kind of like a compulsory evacuation device. I also run the 1 Kunquery. When your opponent monster declares an attack, if you control an Altergeist card, you can special summon this card from your hand. If you do, negate that attack. And if this card is special summon, you can target one face-up card your opponent controls, negate the effects of that card while it and this monster are on the field. Now what you want to do is I would start out with a Milliseek or a Marionetter. Then during your opponent's turn, activate a trapped special multi-figure, and then you can use the effect of multi-figure to special Silquitus. Then you use Silquitus' effect to bounce multi-figure back to your hand and one of your opponent's monsters, and maybe a personal spoofing to send Silquitus back to the deck. And Connect Ray is there just because it's a good card. This is pretty much the standard Altergeist ratio. Pretty much everyone runs this. Some people might drop Marionetter down to 2 or Silk up to 3, but this is pretty much the only ratio I think is even any good, and this is probably what you want to run. For hand traps, I run the 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, as well as the 2 Effect Veiler and the 2 Nibiru. This is what I run for my hand trap lineup. Moving on to the spells, I run 3 Pot of Extravagance. Thank God this card is no longer like 90 bucks, which it was during like the time of the YCS Las Vegas. Also run the 1 for 1 because Milliseek is like level 1. Now moving on to the traps, also run 3 Altergeist Protocol. The activation and effects of Altergeist cards on your field cannot be negated, and when your opponent activates a monster effect, you can send one face-up Altergeist card you control to the graveyard, negate the activation. If you do, destroy. So it's a negation as well as protection. Also run 3 Personal Spoofing. Sadly, this card is not an Altergeist card, otherwise this card would be really powerful. Once returned, you can shuffle one Altergeist card from your hand or face-up from your field into the main deck, add one Altergeist monster from your deck. So it's a searcher for your Altergeist monsters, like a multi-figure, for example. And the one good thing about this is if you have multiple on the field, you can use all of them, because it is only a soft once per turn. So if you have multiple copies, you can activate the effects of each copy. Also in the 1 Manifestation, target one Altergeist monster in your graveyard, special summon an attack position, and equip it with this card. When this card leaves the field, destroy that monster, and you can banish this card from your graveyard to target one Altergeist trap in your graveyard, add to your hand. So it's a bit of like a kind of like a monster born in a way. I guess it's kind of more like a premature burial. And that's it for the Altergeist traps. I also run 3 Solemn Judgments, or as I like to call it, no, and 3 Solemn Strike. Some people run Solemn Warning, but I don't think you really need Solemn Warning as much. You can side deck it, but I'd rather side deck stuff like a Pointer of Red Lotus or the Cursed Seal of the Forbidden, I think it was. But this is essentially if your opponent tries to like use Harpy's Feather Duster or Evilly Match or something like this. This is to essentially just stop that from even happening. I also run 3 infinite impermanence. It's just a really good hand trap, as well as 3 crackdown. Crackdown is essentially mind control. Well, yeah, it is essentially mind control. So when you get to take your pull of your opponent's monsters, and also run a 2 Borload Savage Dragon in the extra deck. So if you say you get multiple crackdowns, that's also another good option to just end the game rather than keep the game from drawing out too much, because if this game draws out too much, you're gonna run out of resources. That is one problem I did run into, so that's why I run crackdown. Moving on to the extra deck. I run 3 Altergeist Hextia. I remember during the YCS Las Vegas, I didn't run any of the Altergeist extra deck monsters, mainly because I didn't care for them too much. But I think I also was just kind of underestimating them a bit too. For Hextia, gains attack equal to the original attack of each Altergeist monster it points to, and when a spell or trap effect is activated, quick effect, you control 1 Altergeist monster this card points to, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. So it's good for negating spells and traps. I also run the 2 Prime Banshee. Prime Banshee during the main phase, quick effect, you control 1 Altergeist monster. Special summon 1 Altergeist monster from your deck to your zone this card points to. And if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can target 1 Altergeist card in the graveyard, add to the hand. So it's a bit of recursion and also get some cards to the field. I run the 3 Link Karibo and the 3 Salamander Almirage for Meluseek. I also run the 2 Axis Code Talker and the 2 Borload Savage Dragon. I mean, not Borload, Boiled Sword. To kind of like help close the game out, and as well as the 1 Appaloosa in case I ever end up going into it. That's going to be all for this deck profile. Let me know, what do you think of the Altergeist deck? Do you think it's a pretty cool deck? Do you think Multifigure maybe should have come back to 3? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video I make. Bye.